Hey guys, welcome to episode 66 of the DeHart House podcast. My name is Alicia. I'm your host for this knitting, crafty, crochet, sewing, spinning related podcast. And if you can't already tell from my voice, I am sick. Hey Margie, you want to join us for the podcast? Do you want to say hello? Hello, everybody. I come in at the beginning of podcasts to see what's going on, and then I leave. And look at that mess on the floor that Alicia has made. I know, it's quite ridiculous. Okay, so it has been quite a while since the last real episode for this podcast. I have moved across the country, started a new job. So there was packing, unpacking, starting of a new job, and now I'm sick. Yeah, So the craft room is not completely unpacked yet. There are still boxes and bags and things that need to be put into drawers and places. Yeah, I'm really out of sorts today. By the way, today is Sunday, September 22nd. It's 22nd, right? Because I'm pretty sure, yeah. Monday's the 23rd, and that is the first day of fall, which is really exciting. Anyway, yeah, I'm sorry I'm not more spunky, but this cold hit me on... I haven't had a fever, just nasal congestion and drainage. And I got to a point, this hit me on Friday, and I was teaching, and it got to the point where it was starting to really hurt when I was talking, and as a lecturer, it's difficult. So yesterday, on Saturday, I was originally going to record this episode for you guys, but I could not talk without pain. So I could physically talk if I absolutely had to, but it hurt. So I put it off to today, hoping that I would feel better, and I do feel a little bit better. I can talk without pain, which is progress. I'm still really stuffed up though. So, enough about that. I have moved across the country, and I now live in Tacoma, Washington. I moved from Big Spring, Texas. We rented a budget truck, which I didn't even think about, honestly. I've always gone with U-Haul. I don't know why, but we shopped around with different brands, and renting the budget truck with the car trailer was a lot cheaper through budget than U-Haul. Now that was at a particular time of the year, from this location to that, from that location to this location, which all those factors play in. But anyway, good experience. We ended up driving when we turned in the truck and the car trailer, and they read the odometer, we drove that truck 2,200 miles. Yeah. I mean, that did include, getting off the highway to go to a gas station and getting back on, right? Getting off for a hotel, getting back on, right? So there were a few extra miles in there, but yeah, when we planned it out, it was about 2,000 miles for the drive, so an extra 200 along the way for pit stops. Not too bad. Unpacking the truck was exhausting. Just exhausting. Like, okay, so we have been here a month now, and oh gosh, you guys, I'm trying to remember from a month ago. But we've been here a month. So it was mid-August when we packed up and moved, which was, 90 degrees Fahrenheit, 100 degrees Fahrenheit weather in Texas. So it was very hot to pack the truck. But that was at the start of our moving journey. And at the beginning of a journey is when we're excited and we have lots of energy, right? And then we were driving, we were putting in 12 to 14 hour days of traveling. So we'd probably end up driving 11 hours, but then we'd spend anywhere between 1 and 3 extra hours making pit stops, right? So 12 to 14 hour days for three days, plus that first day we left the house in Big Spring at like 6 p.m. or something like that, and we were only on the road for like 3-4 hours. That's how we planned it, is we planned to spend half of Friday packing and then half of Friday driving. No, I think we left at 4. That's right. We left around 4 and we got to the hotel around 8. So it's pretty good start. Anyway, and I still need to work on that vlog video, putting all of that footage together from our drive. But yeah, so 3.25 days of driving and hotel stays. And we arrived here at the house at, 10 or 11 o'clock at night. We wanted to skip one last hotel stay. So we booked it here. We bought some air mattresses from Walmart, which, by the way, you can't return if you open the box. Okay. So now we have some extra air mattresses. Oh well. And so we slept on air mattresses. Michael and myself and my parents were helping us move, and then Mike and I unpacked that. It took us 2 days to unpack it. Yeah, it took us 2 days to unpack it. It took us like a day to pack it, but 2 days to unpack it, which was not what I was expecting. But see, when we got here to Tacoma, it was 80 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Those 2 days we were unpacking the truck, of course. So it was hot. The sun was actually out. Like, the sun was hitting our faces. It was not cloudy. It was not rainy, which I'm glad it was not rainy. But it was hot. And after spending hot days packing, several hours on the road, sleeping in not the most comfortable beds in hotels, and then having to unpack in really hot weather. But we did it. We did it. Plus, when we were unpacking, I'm pointing out this way. So the craft room has a nice window over here. If I can show you, there's a window. And out there is the backyard. Okay. Now, I say backyard. The backyard is facing the main road that you come in on to get to our house, okay? Now, that backyard is a hill going out to the road. We parked the budget truck out there because we apparently live on a little tiny windy road that's very bumpy, and we didn't think we could physically get the budget truck down there. So we decided to park it on the shoulder of the main road where there was lots of room and unpack everything through the back instead of through the front. Okay. So just imagine carrying big, awkwardly shaped furniture down a hill. Also a dolly with boxes. Anyway, it was like 10 times harder to unpack the truck because we had to go up and down a hill, right? So we could have done it in one day had it been flat, like truck to front door. Had that been flat, we could have done it in a day. But because we had to keep going up and down this hill, it was hard. So anyway, that happened. And then my parents were here for a whole week afterward. A little less than a week, actually. So we did a bit of sightseeing. We went to Seattle proper. We went to downtown Seattle. We took them on the Argosy Harbor Cruise, which goes around the bay, and a tour guide explains all the sights to you. So we did that. We sat down by the bay and we ate lunch. We walked around Pike Place Market. So we did all of that one day. We also took them up to see Mount Rainier, which I have never been to Mount Rainier, so that was also my first time. That was really cool. We didn't get out and do any hiking, partially because none of us were up for that with all of the up and down with the moving. We pretty much got our hiking in our backyard. And my mom walks with a cane, and my dad has breathing stuff going on. So we didn't do any hiking, but we did drive up as far as we could, and we got to see the little shops and the ranger station and eat lunch up and look at the beautiful mountain. And then a bunch of clouds rolled in, and we said, okay, it's probably time to go. So we left and came back here. So we did get to do a little bit of sightseeing with my parents, which was really nice. And then after they took off, we did a whole bunch of unpacking. Yeah, I know we're still not 100% unpacked, but we made good progress. And then shortly after that, I had to report for training and more introductions and more training. And then this past Monday was the first day of classes. So for those of you who don't know, I teach college math. So I'm now working at Bellevue College in Bellevue, Washington, and I'm teaching math, and I love it. I just love teaching. So I won't go into details, but back in Texas, I was only teaching 4 days a week. Classes were Monday through Thursday, and students would only meet 2 days a week. So Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday, right? And then we'd have Fridays off if there weren't any meetings to go to, right? Well, now I'm teaching 5 days a week, those same students 5 days a week, which is nice in the fact that I get to see them every single day, but also not nice because I see them every single day, right? So I don't get a day off in between to be like, what am I going to do tomorrow, right? I have to do that every single day. So I've been busy. I've been really busy. And then, I'm not living in the town where I'm working. I have to commute. And so if I ride the bus, it's an hour and a half there and an hour and a half back. So 3 hours a day just riding a bus. If I drive, which I just experimented around with, if I leave here at the same time I would to go get on the bus, but instead I just drive, then it only takes me an hour to get there. But because of the great deal that the college has worked out with the bus system, it is insanely cheaper for me to ride the bus than to drive myself. So So I set up a little math problem, right? I'm going to figure out, because really it comes down to how much is my time worth, right? If I get an extra hour back, is it worth it? Anyway, so I've been busy. It's been busy. So, despite all of that, I've totally done some knitting and some spinning and stuff like that. So, let me just take this episode to get us all back up to speed. So, get me back into the routine of podcasting, which, by the way, because of how busy I am, I think I'm going to go back to a bi-weekly schedule. So we're going to do this podcast every other week instead of every week. That way I can still keep on top of my my work and spending time with my family and getting out and exploring the area, but still keep in touch with all of you. So that's my plan moving forward. So, yeah, let me just share with you guys. So I had put together, spinning videos, craft along videos. That's what they're called. I'm so sorry. I'm all over the place. Craft along videos. And I did some spinning. So I finished a shawl that I made out of that yarn that I spun. So I knit up this shawl, and I have not woven in the ends yet. But this, I can't even remember if I shared this with you already. But I'm pretty sure I finished it right before we left Texas, and I took final pictures of it in my craft room after I had cleared out the room and I had a big nice open floor space. So anyway, this pattern it's not free, but it's very inexpensive on Ravelry, and it's called the Row Kerchief pattern. And I can't remember the name of the author, but I'll put that on the screen here. So she has decided that all of the proceeds from this pattern will be donated to causes. What is the phrasing she used? It has to do with people wanting to come to the U.S. and supporting them having good conditions and good legal representation in their cases, and family support, things like that for immigrants who are wanting to come into the country, especially those along the Mexico-Texas border. I do have the window open, and there is kind of a busy road out there. I don't know how much you can hear. I apologize. It's really fun at 3 a.m. when someone is just like on their motorcycle booking it. But it happens. Distraction. Anyway, so it's really inexpensive. It's a clever pattern, which I really appreciate. And 100% of the proceeds go to a really good cause. And she has been spreading out the money between different aspects of supporting people coming into the U.S. and trying to give them good support and good conditions. So, yeah, so it's finished. I knit this out of the hand-spun yarn that I prepped with hand carders, and I made rolags, and then I spun them and I plied them, and then I knit it into this shawl. So it is called the Row Kerchief because it's just one pattern row that you repeat over and over again to build this shawl. And one thing that I do like different shapes for shawls, and this is definitely a different shape. It is not very deep, right, vertically. So I put this on, right? Okay. But it is really long, which I actually really enjoy. So it's almost like a shawl scarf, which I think is neat. So anyway, I think it's a really clever design, and it is available on Ravelry, and I did go ahead and purchase it right away, maybe only a couple days after it was released, and I knit this up like super fast. And yeah, so do check that out if you're interested. It's a clever pattern. And I did put some notes on my pattern page. In the one row kerchief pattern that you purchase, the author does tell you about the tips of the shawl. Again, I haven't woven this in yet. So if you stop doing the increases, all right, then you're going to get this blunt, flat tip happening. If you continue with the increases, you'll get more of a point at the end, all right? Now, personally, I wanted this little, there, I'm trying to go against the white wall. I did want this little bit of blunt edge on there. So I did put some notes on my pattern page on Ravelry, if you're interested. I did, because this was hand spun, I did keep weighing the yarn that I had left, trying to predict. I wanted to use the whole thing up in this shawl, and I did I want to say time it perfectly, but that is not the right phrasing. I did correctly anticipate how much yardage I had and used it very effectively. So I did not have enough left over to do another row if I wanted to, which was the goal. So anyway, so on Ravelry, my username is AlittyKnitsToo. I'll put that up here. Feel free to check out my pattern pages in my notebook. I do make notes on some of them, especially when I make changes to the pattern. Okay, y'all, I really don't like being sick. I don't know a person who does like being sick, but whatever. Anyway, so some sweater updates. I know Marjorie. She's like, can we just go outside already? No, because it's raining. All right? The weather, my plants are loving this weather. It's been cool, cloudy, rainy. I love it too. Anyway. Great weather for sitting inside and knitting. So sweater update. This is the Radiate pattern by Joji Locatelli. It is a DK weight sweater pattern with 2 colors. And I can't remember anything about what I showed you guys on the previous episode. So I did finish one sleeve. And I have my markers on here from my increases. And I just need to pick up and knit the second sleeve, and then this will be finished. That's it. That's all I have to do. I have not done it. Okay, so this was last worked on in Texas. I put this sleeve on in Texas, which was a month ago. And it's been sitting here. So, no progress. It's still in the same spot. Okay? But it totally needs to be worked on so that I can wear this, because you guys, fall starts tomorrow and it's already starting to feel like fall here. It is cool weather, cloudy/rainy. Perfect. So I need to finish this so I can wear it. Next in the sweater lineup is the cardigan that I'm knitting for Michael, my husband. This is the Ranger by Jared Flood. And this has not been worked on either since leaving Texas. So I did order, because I ran out of yarn, I did order one more skein of this. I even ordered it while we were in Texas, and I got it before we left, which of course added one more box we had to put on the truck. Whatever, it worked out fine. But all I need to do is put on the collar and the neckband, or the button band, and put the buttons on. That's all I have left. And I haven't done it. So this too needs to be worked on so that Michael will have a nice cardigan sweater to wear this fall. So there's more in the sweater update. I know, because I cast on a sweater. I'm so close to finishing those 2 sweaters, but I was like, let's start a new one, because I don't have enough things to do. So this was started here in Washington after we got a bit settled in and I started unpacking my yarn. Yeah. And I was like, oh, I want another sweater. Yep. Yep. Yeah. Okay, I do like this color. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? You know, it's a little more green in person, like a teal, not so much. It does look teal on the, whatever, anyway. You guys, so this pattern is, what is it? It's one of these fade patterns by Andrea Mowry. Let's see. I'm going to get it wrong, so I have to look it up. So faded. So faded. My printer was running out of ink when I printed this, so the colors are jacked up. But it's a So Faded sweater by Andrea Mowry. Look at that. Now I don't have to put the text on the screen. Yeah, so I had previously knit this pattern in... Oh, don't close it. We're still connected. Goodness sakes. I previously knit this pattern out of blacks and grays, and I called it my, 5 shades of gray sweater or something like that, shades of gray. So this I'm only doing with 2 colors. So I've got a lighter speckle tonal thing going into a darker speckle tonal thing. So, oh, my husband is calling me. Hang on. So that was my husband calling. He's on his way home from visiting his mom, which we are now closer to her now that we've moved out here to the West Coast. So, but I kind of lost him. Like the connection went just blank. I couldn't hear anything. So he might call back. Anyway. So what was I saying? Yeah, I knit this pattern before out of blacks and grays. And last time I knit this pattern, I knit the 41-inch bust size. And this time I'm knitting the 38-inch bust size. So I'm going down, one size? One size, maybe? So there's a couple reasons for that. Number one, my gauge is slightly off from what the designer suggests. So because of that little bit of being off, it ends up being a little bit bigger, right? So I can knit a smaller size, but it'll be a little bit bigger than 38 inches around. The other reason is because I'm using a superwash merino nylon blend. And so it's very stretchy, drapey, and grows. So I'll also get extra room that way. So the 41-inch bust size, the black and gray one, is kind of boxy on me. Like, it's kind of big with room, which is comfortable and nice. But I would also like one that isn't so roomy. So I thought I'd go down a size. I think it's only one size down. Excuse me. So I'm knitting this. And then I didn't have like a full set of fade stuff, but, excuse me, my plan is to use all of this light color and all of that dark color. And just use 2 skeins to knit a sweater. And I'm going to try this. So, so both of these are yarns that I dyed. This light color up top is called Poolside, and the dark color on the bottom is Winter Solstice. And they have elements of the same teal and green, but on the top I went obviously lighter with it and added some yellow. And on the bottom I went darker and added some brown. And I think they look really nice together. I also changed the way that it fades. So in the pattern, she tells you how to fade the colors, which is no secret when you look at it. It's every other row. Okay. I decided not to do that, which I think looks fine, but I kind of wish I would have done every other row. But what I did was 1 row, then 4, then 2 rows, then 3, then 3 rows, then 2, then 4 rows, then 1. And it kind of did this like staggering striping thing, which again, I think looks fine, but I kind of wish I would have done the every other row. But I'm not going to rip it out. I think it looks okay. So, so I still have like 15 grams left of this poolside color. So I need to pick up and do the collar, and then a little bit on the sleeves. And then the rest will be in this dark color. So I'm still working on the body. I need to weigh the ball of yarn because I need to make sure that I have enough left for the sleeves. I don't want it to be a cropped sweater, but if that's what it will take to do it with only 2 skeins, then I will make a cropped sweater. Yeah. But yes, I have been working on this for the past 3 weeks or so, and this is the first time you're seeing it. And yes, I have 2 other sweaters on the needles that have been on the needles for months, but you know, this yarn was calling to me. I really wanted to make something out of it. This pattern seemed appropriate, and I just cast it on and I went with it. And I mean, I'm really happy. I have a whole bunch of project bags over here, which means I have a bunch of projects over here. Yeah. So another project was finished before. Okay, this has been finished for a while. I finished this in Texas before we left Texas, and I believe I showed it to you guys at that point too. So this is one of my new designs, and the big announcement is that the design is available. It's up on Ravelry, and it has been since the start of this month. So, I can't remember the dates of the coupon. Nope, there's no coupon. It's a discount. You don't need a coupon. It's just automatically applied. So what I do with my patterns is during the first 30 days of release, I put the patterns at 20% off. You don't need a coupon code. The discount is automatically applied for you. And that's for everyone. So this is my New Horizons shawl. The name was inspired by me moving across the country, chasing my new horizons with my new job and our new place where we're living and new adventures and all these new things, right? So the name was inspired by that, and right, you go through these transitions in your life, and anyway, I think it's really cool. So I had 3 test knitters who were absolutely fabulous. Thank you so much for test knitting. I got some really good feedback. I think we've done a good job of putting out a pattern that is not only easy to follow, but it's also pretty beginner friendly. So I've worked with my testers to make sure that if a beginner is reading this pattern, they can go back to the abbreviations list to see how to work and make one right, and things like that. So, yeah, so it takes 3 colors, fingering weight yarn. You could honestly use DK weight yarn and you would just get a larger version of this. Now, after blocking, this is my wingspan. Yep. I kind of look like a bird. Do I look enticing? My black Labrador is looking at me like I'm a piece of meat. I know you want to go outside, but it's raining. Can you wait till I'm finished recording? Then I'll go out there with you. She's like, sure, is that in 20 seconds? Anyway, I use 3 colors of Malabrigo yarn, but you can use any fingering weight yarn that you want, okay? So I do have a project page for this on Ravelry as well, under my personal account, AlittyKnitsToo, and I did link the yarn that I use. So this is Botticelli Red, this is something to do with sand, sandbox, sandcastle, something like that. And then the dark color here was eggplant. It looks like a purpley navy to me, to be honest. Like navy blue with a hint of purple in it. But I love it. Anyway, so yeah, this pattern is up. It is still 20% off. And yes, thank you to my test knitters. I really appreciate it. So I do have, I did share some works in progress in the sweater update. So as far as socks go, in the sock update, so I am working on Christmas gifts for people. I'm knitting them, and I've decided that I'm going to keep those a secret. So some of those recipients, I suspect, watch the podcast, and I don't want to spoil their surprise. So I just want to put it out there that I have already started Christmas knitting. I have already finished 3 gifts, and I'm not going to talk about them with you until Christmas. Why is this a little bit out of focus? There we go. Okay. So I celebrate Christmas, for those of you who celebrate other holidays like Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or Festivus, which I thought was a joke on Seinfeld, but turns out someone actually made that a holiday, right? Anyway, so I talk about Christmas because that's what I celebrate, not to be exclusive or anything, just that's what I was raised to celebrate, and that's what I continue to celebrate, and I don't discourage you from celebrating something else. Absolutely not. So the only reason I talk about Christmas is just because that's what I celebrate, and I want to share that with you. So I hope you don't take any offense from that, because I definitely don't mean any offense by that. But in making gifts for my family members and friends, I don't want to share them on the podcast until I'm going to plan on putting out a nice bonus episode around Christmas time where I do divulge all the details about the gifts that I've made. And that bonus episode will come up after all of those recipients have received their gifts. So depending on what day they're going to be opening those presents. I know when I was growing up, we would try to spend the Christmas holiday with as much family as possible. So like we'd do Christmas Eve with mom's side of the family, and then we do Christmas Day with dad's side of the family, or something like that, right? So, and I know sometimes families stagger like that, and so I want to give them all chance to open their gifts before I put the bonus episode up. That way no one's surprises are spoiled, because that's half the fun, is being surprised. So, but I am filming on the side little snippets of those projects, and I'm going to put them all together at the end of the year and throw out a bonus episode. So there is secret Christmas knitting that is going on. However, I'm going to make an exception to that right now. Now that I've said all of that, I'm going to make one exception just because, and it's not a sock. I found this pattern yesterday, and I cast on yesterday, the day I wasn't talking. And I think it's so cool. So it is Christmas knitting, but I'm really enjoying the pattern that I can't keep it a secret until the end of the year. I want to share this pattern with you guys that I've been working on. So to keep with the secret part, I'm not going to say who this gift is for, all right? But I was wanting to try double knitting, which is a method of knitting where you can make a reversible fabric with or without color work. Oh, I know, my dad is calling me. I'm sorry, Dad, I'm gonna have to call you back. All right. So I watched a bunch of tutorial videos on how to double knit and how to cast on for double knitting. And not that I needed any of it for this pattern, because this pattern is really well written for someone who's new to double knitting, which is awesome. So I love plaid. I love buffalo check, Uber plaid, that kind of thing. So when I saw this, it was game over. So the pattern is called Breaking Plaid, and it's by Carissa Browning. And I got this off of Ravelry. So it is a cowl. It's a bandana style cowl. And if I show you this other picture, she shows you the, covering up some stuff here, right? There, in that picture there. Right, so it is attached in the back for a cowl, and then the bandana part, right, sits in the front. And she has really great pictures. Again, I'm covering up the pattern part because it is paid for. You do need to pay for it, but she got really great pictures in more of a light color combination, dark color combination, so you get really good idea of what's going on. So it is written for a fingering weight yarn. However, I am using a DK weight yarn and just doing less repeats of things since it is a thicker yarn. But there are instructions for the cowl. She has also put in instructions for, let me just see if I can do this. Ooh. A shawl version. So if you don't want the attached cowl, you can make the shawl. She also has instructions for modifying the pattern to make a scarf out of it. And she's got ways of doing the scarf where the plaid is worked in line with the scarf, right? So I get to practice my ASL a little bit. Or instead of the plaid going along the scarf, it kind of looks like it's going on a bias, right? Okay. All that is in this one pattern, which is amazing. So you really get your money's worth. And the technique for creating the plaid is very well described. So she makes abbreviations, explains what those abbreviations mean for the double knitting, and then that way the row instructions are not insanely long. So I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. So I started this yesterday. And I'm almost finished. So I am making the cowl, so it is attached in the back here. I just attached it this morning. And it is double-sided here, right? And my lighting is not the best, so this is totally coming up on screen as like orange to me. And it is not orange. This thing is pink and black. What is happening? Dude, this is pink. Okay, this is, oh gosh. Okay. See, new place. I have different lights up here than I'm used to. Anyway, this is totally pink and black. But, so you can see down here, okay, all along the edge are pink squares, right? Or diamonds. And on the reverse side, on the edge, they are black. Right? So it's reversible. So you get the color work without carrying the yarn. On the back side, you're kind of carrying it in the middle. Makes this double thick fabric. Anyway, I am super, super stoked about this. Like, this is going to be so cool. I totally want to make one for myself. But anyway, breaking plaid. She's got the cowl, a shawl, 2 different scarves. So it's really 4 patterns all in one, which I think I paid $5 for it. It's a really good deal. So check it out if you're into plaid, as much as I am. Like I said, I definitely want to make one of these for myself, but I wanted to use this pink and black for someone in particular. I'm not going to say who. So this is hopefully the one exception I make to the Christmas gift knitting being secret. But yeah, I'm really excited. I did spend pretty much all day yesterday working on this because I was feeling... Well, I did go out to the store. I did go do some shopping. I went to a farmer's market, which I'll tell you about in a little bit. So I did get out of the house for a couple of hours, but other than that, I was knitting on this thing. So, since we've moved here, I have purchased some yarn. So back in Texas, where we were living, I was 45 minutes away from a big box craft store, and more like an hour and a half away from a Joann's. Yeah, or an hour and 15, something like that. Anyway, over an hour away to get to Joann's, and then also to drive back. So, now that I've moved here, Joann's, Hobby Lobby, and Michael's are all on my way home from work, even catching the bus. So, I've been driving to a park and ride, which is about 10 minutes away, and so when I get dropped off by the bus at that park and ride, and I get in my car, Joann's is like right around the corner, and then a few blocks down is Hobby Lobby and Michael's. So they're no longer out of my way, which is amazing. I have not checked out any of the local yarn shops yet. That is on my to-do list. But I have been to like Joann's in different areas, and sometimes they do carry different things. So I did want to go in and check it out. So I get back from work one day, and I've got the Joann app, and this coupon pops up. It's like, you know, get half off one regular priced item. And I thought, okay, I'm going to go in, I'm going to buy one ball of sock yarn, and I'm going to get it half off, use this coupon because it expires today, and, you know, check out the store and then go home. So I go in, and I've got my keys in one hand and my wallet in my other hand. I didn't grab the cart. And I go back to the yarn, and they have clearance tables out in the middle. And the clearance is 25% off of the sticker price. And I'm like, cart. I'm going to get a cart. So I go get a cart. So I got a whole bunch of yarn. So, you guys, they had... Here, let me find one of these. They had Patton's Croy on sale in the clearance. Look at this. It was $2.97 a ball. And I got 25% off of that price. Right? So this color is Amethyst Stripes. So I've knit with Patton's a lot. So I just got colors that I hadn't used before. So Amethyst Stripes was one of those. So I got one ball of that. And, let's see, do I have another Patton's? No, that was the only Patton's. There we go. Okay, cool, done. I also got a bunch of this Premier Yarn Serenity sock, which I got a whole bunch of, was it last year? Maybe it was the year before. On Black Friday, they were like $2 a ball, right? So here, these were also $2.97. And then 25% off that price, right? So I got some, this is a striping one. What is this? The color is called Gray Flannel. It just makes me think of fall, because it's like gray and blue, and then there's a little bit of like gold yellow color. Oh my gosh. So I got 2 balls of this color. And I'm curious to see how it stripes up. And then I got this blue dark water. It's grays and blues, which both of my nieces are into blue. So, wait, I have 3 nieces. Excuse me. 2 out of 3 of my nieces are into blue. So that's why I got this. So I got 2 balls of this color. Oh no, that one's different. Oh, okay, one of those. This one is... No, this is also dark water. This is also dark water. This one is different. This one's called Borealis, which looks like those mitts she's wearing. So there's a white stripe in between each, right? And it's got dark blue, light blue, green, purple. Yep, okay. Cool. And then I got a couple solid purple, which I didn't even know they had solid purple. So this is called Purple. Look at that. Okay, so I got 2 of those. And then I got some yarn that I've never even seen before. And the best time to try yarn you've never seen before is if it's dirt cheap. So this is called, this is Lion Brand ZZ Twist, which I'm assuming has something to do with the way it's twisted, right? So there's S twist and Z twist. I don't know why this is called ZZ Twist, because if it's Z and then Z again, they wouldn't actually twist together. But anyway, So this is, I got two different colors, a dark blue and a dark red. So this is cranberry, and this one is navy. So I would like to knit hats. I'd like to make a hat for me and a hat for Michael. And this will match the new coat that I just bought myself. And Michael looks really good in blue, so. But it is, let's see, the composition, it is 100% acrylic yarn. So, oh look, it even says on here, to make a hat you need 1 ball. Excuse me, to make a scarf you'll need 2, and to make a sweater you'd need 6. Interesting. But yeah, it looks shiny. This yarn looks really shiny. In the same way that, no, because I was going to say in the same way that Karen yarn looks shiny, but it has a different kind of shine. Anyway, I have no idea what this is going to behave like when I knit with it. So I only got 1 ball of each. Again, it was on clearance and then 25% off of that price, so I thought, you know, I can experiment with this when it's only $2.50 a ball. So yeah, that should be interesting. These are each 100 grams with 246 yards. It's a worsted weight. So we'll see. But it is shiny and you can very clearly see the twist. It looks like it has 3 plies to it, which is great because I was thinking of doing cable hats, and 3 plies pretty good for that. So yeah, I did pick up some more things. I think I only spent well, let's see, I got the receipt in here. With tax and everything, it was $23. Boom. So that was pretty good. So yeah, I'm excited to be able to just pop in and be like, oh my god, there's a sale. And then there was spinning. So it was my birthday last week. Yeah, on the 10th was my birthday. Yay! I'm another year older. So to treat myself, I did purchase some more spinning fiber, and I purchased 2 braids from Snow-Kissed Farm Girl. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Snow-Kissed Farm Girl. I wonder if this will show up. Yeah, Snow-Kissed Farm Girl. And she had a sale, which I think might still be going on. So I bought 2 braids, and one of them I've already taken half of and spun it up. So I got this color and this color. So this is like a nice navy blue, and this is a nice soft green, which is funny because these are pretty much Seattle Seahawk colors. I didn't even put 2 and 2 together when I bought these. I was just like, oh, blue and green, they go together. Yeah, okay. So I did spin up half of the blue braid already, and here it is. So you can see that the dark bits do blend in with the light bits quite a bit, and it gets sort of washed down and muted, which I still think looks really pretty. So this is half of that braid, and my color is off because of the lighting in here, so just, this looks actually pretty good on there. Yeah. So I love spinning really thin yarn because I like working with fingering weight, but this time I thought I'd challenge myself to try to spin a thicker yarn. So I was trying to shoot for like a DK sport weight, and I don't know yet if I've achieved that. It honestly kind of looks worsted weight. But still, I'm super happy that I spun something thicker than a fingering weight. So, and it looks pretty good, I think. And I really enjoyed it. It was a quick, actually, yeah, it spun up a lot faster than a fingering weight, which I guess you would expect, right? So anyway, yeah, so I'm going to keep going with that. The plan is to knit something out of these together. And since they are basically Seattle Seahawk colors, it may be Seattle Seahawk inspired now that I'm living out here near Seattle. Not that I've ever really been a big football fan, but maybe that will change. I don't know. I used to live in Montana while going to grad school, and Montana has 0 professional sports teams. And I had moved there from Michigan, and when I lived in Michigan, I was a Detroit Pistons fan for NBA basketball. So when I moved to Montana, I was like, ooh, who's our team? Oh, we don't have one, like in any sport. So I kind of fell out of following sports while I was in Montana and never really picked it back up. So maybe that will change. Okay, so I've pretty much caught you guys up on everything, crafting wise. Like I said, I'm really busy settling in at work because I'm still learning all the things at this new institution. So procedures and policies differ from place to place. So I'm just figuring out those new things and settling in with new students and new peers, and so it's a lot of work. But I'm really happy so far. So, yeah, I feel like this episode is pretty long because of me trying to catch you guys up. So I think what I'm going to do is save, I'm not going to talk about adventures and all that stuff until next time. And that will be in 2 weeks from today. So that I can have a weekend off in between. And yeah, I'm so glad to be settling in and getting back into this podcasting routine. So yeah, that's all I have. I'm not ready to start any knit-alongs or anything just yet because I'm still getting organized. But I will keep you posted on that front. And in the meantime, I hope that you enjoy your knitting, enjoy your adventures, and I'll see you in a couple weeks. Bye!